Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Hi everybody, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Juan. I am just one reader and I am here today with my reading wrap up for the month of May. So in the month of May, I only ended up reading or completing 4 books, which sounds like, to me, it sounds like nothing because I usually read at least double that amount, or I have the feeling that I read more. However, in May, I think all my reading energy went towards reading for my work and for school. I did a lot of academic reading, a lot of really heavy, dense reading, and even though I read very consistently throughout the month, I read very consistently every single day. I actually started waking up earlier every morning just to get some extra reading done, and still I only finished 4 books for my own pleasure. But all of them were kind of, in their own way, they were very special and very interesting and very delightful, and they have all left me with something, and I think that's what matters. So this is exactly the kind of month that makes me remember. It's all about the quality, not the quantity. It's about the experience, not the achievement. So anyway, the first book that I finished in the month of May was A Prayer for Owen, Meany. This is a novel by John Irving, and this is, I think, the main reason why I was not able to read more books. I think this kind of took a lot of my energy, a lot of my time, a lot of my reading juices, because this novel is long. It's kind of deceptively long. It is 650 or so pages long, and more than the length of, or the yeah, more than the length of the book, it is a very immersive, character-driven story, and it's a book that it required a lot of work. It required a lot of persistence and consistency, and you know what, in the end I really enjoyed a lot of aspects and a lot of things in this book, and I gave it 3 stars, but there were some things, some little issues that ended up being kind of a big deal. Like, this is all about this character of Owen, Meany, who is this kind of really weird person. He's a really strange, bizarre, kind of almost prophetic little guy, and I was really enjoying his character and learning about him. But I think this is not really a spoiler, but, well, no, it's not really a spoiler. In the end, I think what the book does is, instead of really humanizing the character, I think John Irving, the way that the author treated the character towards the end, with certain revelations and certain things that we find out about him, I think the character became just even more like easily idolized and special and kind of prophetic and like a messiah figure. And so I was kind of hoping that he would do the exact opposite thing, you know, that he would present us throughout the entire novel with this kind of prophetic, godlike person, character thing, and that he would slowly humanize him and show us his real side, you know, his real, his real personality, and the reasons of why he was acting like that. But he didn't. So in the end, I was kind of a little bit disappointed with the ending, but the journey was great, and this is a really great book that I would absolutely recommend if you're looking for a really American a really American novel with very good, interesting characters, with a lot of descriptions of the town and the people who live in this town, and these characters growing up and their childhoods and their college years and all of that. So it was slow, character driven, but rewarding, I think, and I gave it 3 stars. The next book that I completed was the collection Delicate Edible Birds, which was written by Lauren Groff. I read Lauren Groff's novel, well, one of her novels, Fates and Furies, last year and absolutely loved her, and I really fell in love with her writing style, and so I decided to now try her out in a short story format, and I was not disappointed. I liked it just as much as Fates and Furies. I think Lauren Groff, is a writer who you should definitely read. In case you haven't, you should definitely read her if you enjoy a very melodic, entrancing, maybe a little bit slow, but really rich writing style. Her writing style is, to me, it's always felt like music. Like you can get easily lost in the cadence and the melody of her words, and you just feel trapped and entranced, and she really manages to cast a spell upon you. So this collection in particular was really excellent. Overall, I gave this book 4.5 stars out of 5. Some really amazing gems in here. Of course, it's a collection, so you are bound to like some stories more than others and some less than others, but that's just the nature of a collection. But I was really surprised. Most, if not all, of the stories in this collection focus around women and how women live and think and perceive the world, but also how men perceive women and how men's vision of women affect and influence women themselves. So I really enjoyed this, absolutely recommend it. Next book that I read was nonfiction, which I rarely go for. This was On Sondheim by Ethan Mordden, and this is a kind of review of Stephen Sondheim's work, life, and legacy. The author goes into Stephen Sondheim's life and how his childhood experiences and later experiences in life influenced his writing and his writing of certain lyrics and certain musicals. And then he goes into each and every single musical that Sondheim has made in his life, and he goes into quite some detail about each production. And the author is really friendly and really accessible, and you feel this kind of camaraderie with him, like he's really telling you the gossip of what happened back then in the 70s and 80s. And it's really interesting, super fun, and if you enjoy Sondheim, I absolutely recommend this. And I think the most rewarding and the most important thing that this book gave me was a thirst for more Sondheim, wanting to know more and wanting to experience more work by Stephen Sondheim. And I always find it very difficult to rate nonfiction, but I really, really, really love this. And the more I think about it and the more I process the information that was in this book, the more I love it. So I gave it 4 stars, but I think this might be one of my favorite books of the year so far. And finally, the last book that I completed in the month of May was The Butcher's Hook by Janet Ellis. This is a historical fiction novel, and I just had a blast reading this. This is a book that I devoured under less than 3 days or 4 days, which is very, very, very fast for me. I was just, staying up late at night and waking up early in the morning just to get more reading done, because this book was just relentless. This book is very fast-paced, super intriguing. It's kind of unpleasant and upsetting in the way that it is very descriptive and very sensual. It describes a lot of sensory experiences that you probably don't want to have. Like when you read this book, you will see and taste and smell and hear certain things that are kind of shocking and creepy and perverse. But the author manages to really engage and spark the curiosity of the reader. And what I really enjoyed about this book, this is gonna sound wrong, but I don't care. The thing that I really loved about this book is that it's a book that brings the perversity out of the reader. You become like a perverse child, just with fascination and just wanting to look closer and closer to these awful, upsetting things. I really enjoyed this, and I think I would recommend this to everyone on BookTube who hasn't read it. But also, I think this is the kind of book that I would recommend to normal people around me, non-readers around me who want to experience something kind of weird and kind of outside of the box. Really enjoyed this. One of my favorite novels of 2018 so far, and I gave this 4.5 stars. And those are all the books that I actually completed in the month of May. Please let me know in the comments down below. What was your May like? What did you read? What did you enjoy the most? Did you have any surprises, any disappointments? I would love to hear about your reading month of May. Thank you for watching. I am Just One Reader.